Good morning, good afternoon, good day, whatever part of the world you are in. Since Wisdom Wednesday podcast is global now. So thank you for joining in on this conversation. And I am so excited. I have a special guest, a dear friend, a woman that every woman needs to know because she's a powerhouse. And I tell you, she will impart wisdom, give you information, and let you know that you can be all that you were designed to be. So, without further ado, I want to officially welcome my honored guest, Natasha Lee. That girl. How are you this morning, my dear?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for the fine introduction. I'm trying to hide from the light. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're here. So thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning.
I'm just honored that you said yes. But I want the podcast audience to know a little more about this phenomenal woman. I asked for a bio, and it's like, wow, I don't know if I can get through all of this, but it's so good. I'm going to impart some more information about her. And I just want to let everyone know I'm live from Florida. I'm with a dear friend. My husband and I flew out to get some warmer weather. I don't know how it is in Michigan, Natasha. It's still about 50 degrees there.
We feeling okay. We feeling it's about 50. It feels, I got a little it's not Florida weather, but we making it.
All right.
Yesterday was beautiful though. Look,
Okay. Yes.
yesterday was beautiful. Today not so much.
That's that Michigan bipolar weather. That's why I had to come and get a little sunshine. It's like 80 degrees already here. But let me just share with you a little more about Natasha Lee. When Natasha steps in front of a group, large or small, to share her wisdom, you can bet that no one will leave that room unchanged. And I can attest to that. Natasha's magnetic presence captures your attention before she even begins to speak. When she walked in, I said, who is this powerhouse? So I know it's so true. You'll also soon discover that you have encountered one of those who will move mountains to help you achieve your dreams. She applies her expansive skill set and tireless work ethic to every project she sets out to conquer, whether personal, for the community, or for her clients. A creative, professional, and business enthusiast, Natasha Lee is a visionary business consultant, CEO of Make Your Dreams Come True LLC, founder of Being That Girl, and led representation and ambassador for corporations globally. I could stop right there, but I got to tell you more about this wonderful woman. And she's so down. She's authentic. She's real. She is. Her heart is a servant leader. She really is a servant leader. She has been featured on such prominent media outlets, including ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, Detroit News, Woman Essence Magazine, Woman Empowering, Inspire, Rolling Out, Detroit CEO, and so many others. Shine Magazine, Hip Hop Weekly. I mean, just the list goes on and on, and that's just to name a few because another page full of all of what she's done, the accolades. She attended Lawrence Technological University, where she pursued a career in computer engineering with a minor in business management. She developed Make Your Dreams Come True uh, as a BPO and a project management from form in 2006 at 23. Get this, everybody, at 23 during a recession, after working in the corporate America for nearly 10 years, became the youngest and the only African American woman to own a call center based in Michigan. Can we drop the mic now? Okay, come on. That's not all. Not all. She's done commercials. You've probably seen her on your TV. I mean, she's doing so much. I mean, let me just have her, this power woman, say her things. What else have you done that I haven't read completely on your bio?
Wow, you know what? It's so funny. I hate the bio because it's so only so much you can put in there, and then it's like, well, how much do they need to know?
Right.
But I literally am just so I've been like this busy bee my whole life. I really, really enjoy and love what I do, and I just continue to create different, avenues for myself just based off of the things that I love. So I think that's why that list keeps getting longer and longer. I'm always updating the bio, and um, I appreciate all of the opportunities that's been given to me and the news outlets and the podcasts like yourself who invite me on your platform to share my story, because we can never tell our story enough. It's so important to constantly share until we can't anymore. Because you never know who life you're going to reach or touch, you know? So I am
Right.
honored to be here, Justin. So now I have to add this podcast to the list.
Yes, please do. It's so amazing that your energy is so authentic. I mean, have you always been like that? Like you said, you always been a busy. I mean, where did you get that energy from? Not only to help others, but inspire others and encourage others, and
Wow, you know what? It's so powerful. You're saying so many things that are resonating with me today. Our conversation before the podcast started,
yes.
and then just now that question, because so many people talk to me
Hmm.
about my energy and
Yeah.
about the way I command a room or all of those things. Literally, I'm just being me. I don't even know what it like if it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? And for me, though, I do wake up with a very enthusiastic perspective
Hmm.
every day. I definitely wake up with a gratefulness in my heart for Jehovah. Like that's where it starts. Just thank you for allowing me to wake up. Thank you.
Yeah.
And because I know the world is sad, and this has been something since I've been doing a little girl. Like, I'm gonna be happy today. I'm about to be happy. I don't care. I don't care what's going on in this world. And I could be having some very traumatic things going on. But when I step out into outside, I
Yes.
definitely give the energy that I want to receive.
Hmm. And
And
that's
I
so
love when I
important.
meet people who has that same energy.
Yes. This episode, I've been talking about women supporting women. I think about our counterpart. Men do that just naturally, seem like. But what does that really look like? I know, when, like I said, when I first met you, you were willing to help, and you let me realize, how much I'm worth. I mean, we talked about that before. You don't realize it until someone else, let somebody else know how valuable they are. So, what does that really look like? That women supporting other women, because you've done that. You're a master at that.
Yes, you know what? I love the question, women supporting women, and we are honing in on that. I remember when
Mm,
I first started creating women empowered
mm,
um, conferences and symposiums and meetups. It's been over a decade now, and I was just in my 20s. Like
yeah.
literally, I was 23 when I first started doing women empowered things, right?
Hmm.
And all of these women, all ages, would be there from young to old, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I think a lot of times, number one, women supporting women and empowering women is literally allowing women to be themselves when they walk into the room. Like, I am not the antique girl. I'm not about to give y'all no antics. I ain't got time for it. You know, like, and I had to learn that early, because you can keep showing up and not be yourself if you want to, and it is
That's
not
right.
going to go over well, right? So I think
Right.
by number one is just allowing each woman to be their unique selves. You know, who's going to
Hmm.
like you is going to like you in that room, who's not is not. And it's okay.
That's true.
We are not all designed to be, buddies or, best
Right.
friends. We could be
Right.
literally put into each other's lives just for that season to help us get
Hmm.
over that hump, or to have a sister in a time of need.
Right.
So
Right.
that's number one. And then number two is I'm all about, like, what's your dream? What's your
Mm.
goal? Like, because I feel like I'm living mine every day. I've always lived mine. That is
Yes.
something that I can really attest to from being a kid. I was telling my
Mm.
mama and daddy, like, I want to go to here. I can tell them I want to go to the moon to do something, and they'll be like, sure, like, go ahead. How much is it? Like, girl, go. So they just let
Yes.
me live my wildest imagination, right? So I
Wow.
think that a lot of women,
Yes.
I think that a lot of women are not allowed to live their wildest imagination.
Wow.
And I think that I evoke that in women.
Mm.
Like, okay, we about to do it. Like, tell me three things you want to do. We at least gonna do one. Like, stop playing, you know? And so that is important for me to do, is to help women live their wildest dreams, to step
Yes.
outside of their comfort zones, and to show them
Yes.
that the idea of perfection is simply not in us. It's only one person who, for me, has
Hmm.
ever reached perfection, and that's Jesus Christ. Like, that is what
Right.
I'm taught. That's what
Hmm.
I know. That's what I feel deeply. So outside of
Yes.
that, I'm looking at everybody like, you got two legs, two arms, two eyes. You just a person. That's it, you know?
There you go.
And that's what we need to know when we wake up, is we're
Mm.
just women.
That's right.
We're just a woman. And
Yeah.
what comes in that day and how we can handle it is really from an imperfect standpoint. And that's how we
Mhm.
have to see ourselves in order for us to truly
Yeah.
step into the light. I know when I step out, oh, okay, I have
Right.
these things to work on. We're constantly working on these. So
Hmm.
helping women live their wildest dreams and be confident is
Yeah.
definitely important. And then next is
Hmm.
understanding broken sisterhood.
Mm.
I think that is such a untouched topic when it should be a
Yeah.
part of women supporting women and women empowered. Is
Yes.
because we have been broken
Hmm.
just as much as we've been broken by men, we've been broken by women.
Yes.
And oftentimes when it's broken by women, we are it hurts actually just as bad. It
Yes.
is
Yeah.
no, silver
Yeah.
lining between a man hurts you or a woman hurts you, right? And
Right.
when you think of women like your sister for real, or you're
Hmm.
pouring out to a woman because you understand that she's a woman and she understands you are, and then something
Right.
foul goes down,
Mm.
you're like, oh my God, I hate women.
Yeah.
I like, I do not, yeah,
Yeah.
for real. That's exactly like, I do not want to work with another woman. This
I know.
woman is this is that, and the third. But there's a healing.
Yes.
There's a healing that comes behind it, and it allows you to evaluate your approach more
Hmm.
fully. It
Hmm.
allows you to choose women more carefully, and it
Yes.
allows you to share the experiences so that um, the trajectory of women empowerment does
Yes.
not
Right.
get watered down by
Hmm.
mistakes, because
Right.
sometimes we as women, we so petty, we so petty, we will fall out with each other about nothing. I mean,
That's the truth.
nothing. Okay, this is
Yes.
a prime example.
Hmm.
I referred someone to another young lady to get a
Right.
service done,
Hmm.
and the service didn't go over well. But because I referred her, she no longer talked to me. Like,
You didn't know
I
that was
said, you
gonna
know
go.
what?
Right.
No problem. I
Hmm.
did exactly, because why would I refer you? Why would I refer someone who I'm working with, who
Right.
I appreciate, who supports
Hmm.
me, to
Right.
someone who I readily know is an issue? But
Right.
regardless, all I did
Hmm.
was make a referral so you can have a discount using my name, and boom, something goes wrong, and now
Right.
you can't communicate with you. That's something that we can overcome by just a matter of being reasonable
Right.
and a matter of conversation. And
Hmm.
so we often chop women off so fast as women.
Hmm.
Like literally, we would give a man 50 trillion chances. We'll give a woman one or two, and it's
Right.
done.
It's
And
done.
that is the reality. We think
Yeah.
about how women engage when they get with a man. And I'm talking about every woman. We'll meet a
Yes.
man and he'll woo us for a week. Now we literally, we about to share everything: the car, the house, money, the whole nine. Now let a woman contact you and say, let a woman contact you, they girl, your best friend for 90 years, okay? You contact her and say, hey, I'm short on my mortgage this month. Oh girl, I ain't you better do blah 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 blah. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Or it could be your own mother, a
That's right.
mother going to their child and
Mm-hmm.
asking her daughter for help or support. I'm not doing this, but you just met a man 2 weeks ago and he got your whole bank account.
That is so
So
true.
we don't talk about the broken. We do not talk about like broken sisterhood, and I think that women empowered should shed light on that so that we can have the dialogue because it hurts.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm just sick of pretending like sisterhood don't hurt when
Right.
it do, right? And so
Right.
because I know that sisterhood hurts, I'm always trying to create a safe place
Mm-hmm.
wherever I am for
Right.
women to be themselves, for us to love each other authentically and genuinely,
I know.
and just support and celebrate everything we're doing. So those
Yeah.
are like some of the things that I really concentrate on when I'm trying to empower or inspire
Yeah.
another woman, is to literally make it as easy as possible to
Mm-hmm.
befriend them, because it's already so hard. It's already a challenge. So many women are so broken by another woman, whether
Mm.
she cheated on them with her man, whether she stole a contract, whether she, said was talking about her behind her back. All
Right.
of those things that we go through as women, and we can pretend like it doesn't exist, but it does. And the only
Mm-hmm.
way that we move forward is by being open about the things that we've gone through in sisterhood. So that maybe me showing you and sharing my experiences
Right.
will then allow you to treat me differently than you treat the next sister, or
Right.
allow me to treat you differently than I treat the next sister. It's always a learning curve.
Yes, yes. And I think a lot of that has to do with learning how to forgive. Like you said, well, forgive a man, but learn how to forgive our sister, or, and learn how to forgive ourselves too. Okay, we made a mistake. It wasn't intentional. Things happen. It's not the end of the world. Let's mend and try to, make that thing better. So it does start with forgiving too. And I don't think we like to have a forgiving heart all the time towards
I
our
love
sisters.
hmm
The audience, I had to put our
Yes,
friend
it's
Barbara.
hard, and it's because
Yeah, Barbara Gentry Pugh. She said, "Yes, being hurt by woman is just as bad as being hurt by man. Yes, it allows you to make better choices." So, she concurs and resonate with
yeah.
what you were just saying. It's so true. It's so true. Who was your role model?
Hi, Barbara. I love you.
I love her as well. A dear friend, and she's a dear friend. A good sisterhood, right?
Yes. Who's
Who was
my
your role
role
model? Yeah, because you are many people role model. You're my role model, really. You are so many young people. My granddaughter, I said, listen to her. You got to keep your eye on Natasha Lee. So she said, I need to get with her
model?
to do my website. So you just done maybe your parents. I know you said your parents allow you to be free with your dreams and things like that. Sometimes our parents could be our first role models. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree. I agree 1,000,000%. My mother definitely
Mhm.
was a role model. Just my mother was a matter of fact woman. She just was
Yeah.
who she was, and
Uh-huh.
like she just taught us to be that way. My sister and I, like, be
Yeah.
who you are. Don't be who I
Hmm.
am. Don't be
Right.
who your sister is. Be you. And I think that is so important to inculcate in your child, is it's okay to be themselves, right?
Right.
But then it's
Hmm.
also the line of women in my
Mm.
family, like the women that I have inspired are my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my older cousins, my younger cousins,
Yeah.
the women in my family have
Mm.
played such a huge role in how I want to be seen in the world.
Yeah.
And also, not just because they're jumping out there doing it, I think I'm the wild card for sure. Like, and they all tell me this all the time. They're like, girl, we don't know how you just do it. Like, I think that it's so funny for me to get
Hmm.
accolades from my family members and
Yes.
sisters and aunts and cousins, because they I think they are wild more so than anybody. Like, is this Tasha? Like, what is going on? But it's also so very normal for them. But to know that their impact, how somehow turned into
Mm.
me impacting them, is
Yeah.
such a joy to have. And then I also was inspired greatly by my teachers and professors coming up.
Yeah,
Like, we don't give enough respect and appreciation for teachers.
that's true.
I was a person, my mother taught me to respect my teachers,
Hmm.
number one, but
Yes.
to respect adults. So I was like probably like a renegade with the kids, but with the teachers, they loved me. I was the teacher pet. I'm like, well, I have to respect them. They're the teacher.
That's right. Right.
But no, honestly, I still talk to some of my teachers, like
Yeah.
from high school, like seriously.
Wow.
I think that they gave me a lot of opportunities. I do. I still speak with a lot of educators
Hmm.
who I worked with when I was young, a teenager and 20s, who poured into me. I
Wow.
think if you're a young lady and you're watching this, and I just had a conversation with one of my 23-year-old clients. Her name is Leah Simone. She's a musician.
Hmm.
And we were having a conversation about a modeling opportunity last night. And I was telling her, like, I'm so successful because I've always been around older women. Because I gave birth at 15 years old, it kind of put me in a bracket with older women, and I had the opportunity to learn from these women, from my
Yeah.
neighbors, from the sisters at my congregation, from just influencers, you know. And so
Hmm.
when you have people who are older than you when you're young, to not only look for friendships that from younger people, but you look for friendships in your teachers and in the people in the community who are doing amazing things, and obviously with great wisdom. But I believe that it's so important that you look at what's right in front of you. A lot of times these kids and people just in general look on TV for role models, but the role models are literally sitting right in front of your face. The
That's
ones
true.
that's waking up, putting in that work. And sure, the role models on TV, they exist, and greatly I've been
Hmm.
inspired by Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, Michelle Obama,
Yeah.
um, Jessica, Sarah Jessica Parker, just a
Yes.
different share. Like, I'm inspired by so many women, Tiffany just
Yeah.
every nationality, every woman,
Yes.
just period. That's what I think that, sisterhood is. It's just all of us, not just
Hmm.
one race, not
Right.
just one size, not just one age, but all of us can
Yes.
make a fulfilled sisterhood.
That's so true. I love how you summarize that. We can learn from, my mother used to say that we can learn from anyone, but you got to be teachable and you got to be coachable so you can learn what not to do and what to do, right? So yeah, we just got to have an
Yes.
open mindset to learn. I love that. But can you tell the audience how they can reach out to you, Natasha? They want to get the talk about that girl apparel that's all over worldwide.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing?
So guys, you have to go to Yes, I am -thatgirl.com. Again, it is I am -thatgirl.com. And our goal is to celebrate and support women through success, through media, through fashion, through business, through education, through sisterhood and collaboration, right? So while
Yes.
our fashion is amazing, right? From blazers to t-shirts to pea coats, you find it, you can get it on I am -thatgirl.com. We just got new shoes, so
All
that's
right.
really dope. But then also, we literally collaborate with the women that's a part of our tribe. We
Okay.
partner with them in ways. We also help them make the lateral moves that our company is making. So we have a ton of women who are part of that girl tribe who we provide
Hmm.
business services and coaching to. But
Yeah.
I'm an executor. Like, I ain't really the girl y'all come to if y'all just want to talk. I really ain't into that. Like, I really want call me when you're ready. Like, call me when
Yeah.
you're ready to say I want to go. I want to work. I want to put that work. That's who I am. Like, because when you call
Yes.
me with a dream, I'm like, what we waiting for? Let's go. So I want that energy. Call me with that energy for real.
Right. I know.
So that's I am -thatgirl.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at I'm that girl Natasha.
Hmm.
I'm that girl Natasha. And then that girl IG. account is the official IG for that girl. But that girl is all about celebrating. And we also do these really amazing surprise success parties.
Uh-huh.
And we surprise women, just pop up and just create different ways to surprise women and honor them for the work that they've done in their industry. So that has been a joy and so much fun. Like when I tell you, I've never given so many parties in my life, but it makes work fun. And it
Yeah.
keeps and it makes sisterhood beautiful. Like we just
Yes.
awarded Drew Sidora,
Mhm.
surprised her from the Real Housewives of Atlanta,
Wow.
and she was floored. Like
I
she
know.
was just floored. Unbelievable, right?
Wow. Your heart is so big. I mean, I tell you, everybody that's listening need to get connected with this powerhouse, really. So, what kind of encouraging words can you leave for someone who uh, may doubt themselves? Yeah, I was there one time, and I told you how you really inspired me to, get it moving, keep going. So, what kind of encouraging words can you give to our sisterhood if they feel lack of confidence or just feel like they can't do it? How can they make their dream come true? What's the name of your company?
Yeah, you know what? That's such a beautiful question, Mary. And I do remember. I told you I have pictures of the day of that
Yeah.
event. In fact, that you came to, how we met. But that was such a long time ago. But it was also definitely a rememberable event.
Mm-hmm.
But
It was.
for women who are listening, who feel like they are kind of stuck or don't have the confidence or
Yeah.
feel like they're alone, the bottom line is that we are the vessels, the human beings that God literally gave the
Yes.
weight to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He gave
Yes.
us this weighty responsibility to care for everyone. From the men to our children, we were giving such a weighty responsibility. And with that, we are going to feel discouraged. So that's number one that I want to share is that discouragement comes with being a woman. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to accept it. We have to learn how to accept our place in life. And that'll make us, give us a proper perspective
Mm-hmm.
on who we are and what
Yeah.
type of power we actually have. And so
Mm-hmm.
after we just accept the fact that we're imperfect and that
Yeah.
we got these weighty responsibilities, and we can cry about it, we can cry and do it anyway. Okay, we can
I
cry
like.
about it or whatever. We can cry about it and do it anyway because I cry and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
and
you
that
do
is
it
just our
greatly too.
human makeup.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I want to tell them number one, that is it, like cry and do it anyway. And then
Yeah.
the second thing is to, while we're caring for so many other people, we cannot forget about ourselves.
That's so
We
true.
cannot forget about ourselves. I
Right.
remember, while I was going through my divorce. So one of the elders, he told me, he said, Natasha, you want to know what your problem is? You
Oh,
never take your turn. You
wow.
never take your turn. He
Mm-hmm.
said, you are selfless and you have to learn to be selfish. You
Come on.
have to be selfish with yourself at some point, or you are not going to make it through life. Like you have to stop and be selfish. So I'm telling every woman that is listening to be selfish, to be
Yes.
selfish with yourself. It is okay. Nobody's gonna die about you loving you like you loving everybody else. Okay.
That's
Like you
right.
have to learn how to give all of that love that you're giving to everyone else. You
Mhm.
got to give it to you.
Yes.
And one of the ladies that I told in a coaching program that I did once, I said, stand in the mirror naked and tell yourselves everything beautiful about yourself that you see. And just because you standing in the mirror naked doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden you're gonna jump in there and be Beyonce body. That's not gonna happen. But the fact that the fact that you have a body, period, is a blessing, right? And
Yes.
so we have to be able to love ourselves wherever we are in life. And that
Right.
is going to give us the confidence to walk outside and show that same love to not only to others as well, but people will be able to see that you love yourself, and it's the less likely that they'll play with you. Like,
All
it's
right.
the chance of somebody playing with me is slim, okay? Because they already know, like,
Oh,
oh no, she looked like she loved herself, you know.
yeah. Oh, it.
And that is real. That is in every room, in every scenario. That is what people will pay attention, is how you love yourself, how you carry yourself, how you talk about yourself, what
Yeah.
you're doing with yourself.
Come on.
And that is a separation from kids and man. That's a separation from kids and husband relation. That has nothing to do with them.
Right.
And so for me, because I was so involved in my kids' life, in my ex-husband's life, I kept forgetting about me, and it was
Mm-hmm.
making me unhappy. So I'm
Wow.
going to tell you to remember you in the
Yeah.
morning. To remember you. You are important. You're just as important as your kids. You're just as important as your husband. You're just as important as your career. You
Come
have
on.
to love you. And then the last thing I want to kind of like impart in someone who's
Uh-huh.
listening and struggling, like, the only thing you got to get up and move. You're not a tree.
Ooh.
You can move.
Come on
You
now.
can move wherever you want to. You can shift your mindset. You can
Yes.
move from situations that you don't want to be in. You
Come on.
can literally tell yourself so many empowering things, so that number one, not only are you an empowerment to yourself, you are
Mm-hmm.
an empowerment to others. Be
Yeah.
grateful about the woman that you are. So
Come on.
before you're able to jump out there and truly start helping other people, you have
Mm-hmm.
to have a sense of knowing exactly who you are and what you can contribute to someone else. The
Yeah.
reason why I tell people about being valuable and knowing your worth and know your worth is
Right.
because before you ever are given an opportunity, again, people are paying attention to you and how you feel about you. If they
That's
can play you, they gonna play you.
come
That's
on now.
it.
That's
That's
it.
it. That if they gonna play you, that's if they gonna play you. But at the end of the day, if you not willing to let somebody play you, you can't get played. You gotta play the game, you know? So
Right.
that
Right.
is what I want to impart in women, and to live your dreams. If you have a dream, start writing it down on paper. Not
Mm.
only writing it down on paper, it's just like when you're reading the Bible and it says faith without works is dead. We can pray all day long, but if we not moving along with that
Mm.
prayer, it's
Come on.
not about to happen. You
Come
know,
on.
we could keep trying to use God like he a magic ball if you want to, but that's not how it happens. And that's how we think in life, though. People say,
That's,
I want to be rich. And then you ask them, well, what did you do today? Oh, nothing. Well, you're not about to be rich. You didn't
hello.
do nothing to be rich. Like, what is that's just like seriously, like what? And even when you're like seriously, like, what do you mean? You know? But
Yeah.
it is a matter of so many false narratives being given and being put out to us on
Yeah.
social media, on TV, that we forget how to get things for real.
Come on.
Okay, we're not buying a picture on social media, you're buying pictures and videos. And
Mm-hmm.
you can do that. You can do it. But
Right.
it is about the action that
Yeah.
you are putting forth is what will determine whether or not you're successful. So if you're a woman, if you can manage a house, a kids, a husband, and a job,
Come
you
on
can
now.
definitely live your dream. You can definitely live your dream, at least one of them. And it
Mm.
just takes a matter of you being committed to
Yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
being committed to what you want the result to be. So if
You're right.
I say I want to start and open up a hair salon, my first thing, number one, is to make sure I got my license. How do I do that? I got to wake up every day until I pursue that license. Okay, fine. Now I got my license. Now my
Mm.
next thing is I got to make sure that I have a building. Okay, let me go out and let me find this building. The next thing is, oh, okay, I might need some additional financing. What do I have to do to get additional financing? Let me sit down and learn how to get additional financing. It's all a step. It's a thought and it's a step. Think,
Yeah.
walk, think, walk, think, walk. And that is how you become successful. You think about the things that you want to do and you do them. And
Yeah.
that is really, it's no secret to it. That's the answer. It's the
That's
thinking to do. That's
right.
it.
And they could reach out to you if they need coaching. Is that possible too, Natasha? Sometimes know, they got the thinking part, but then they need that coach to show them maybe the steps, or you know, direct them how they can accomplish that thought. You know what I'm saying? So you're available to do that as a consultant and a coach.
Yes, definitely. I have different coaching programs that I offer throughout the year, whether it's in a group setting or one-on-one.
Okay.
Throughout the year, I offer different mentorship type of programs, but definitely stay connected on social media. You follow me, you will see it. But really, subscribing to I am hyphen that girl or mydct.net, you'll get emails about the different opportunities that we have up. The only problem is, guys, is that the moment I put it out there, it's before it even gets public, it's already sold out. So it
Oh,
never makes it to the public until afterwards. But what I am trying to do is
yeah,
push it out there to the public a lot faster than underground, because once you
yeah,
build your network
yeah,
and the organizations that you're a part of, you never have to market. Like, the idea that you have to market for new people never really happens for me. And
uh,
I say that in the most humble and grateful way.
I
I
hear you.
am. But for me, putting it out there, by the time it's out in the public, it's already sold out. It's nothing that I can do about it. So I want to tell you guys to
Yeah,
subscribe so you get the information first. I am
uh,
always looking for tribe members to join. I don't care about your what. I don't care about any of the things that you think that people care about, like in terms of your how much money you got, where you was born, what you're doing now, if you're, a part of a popular tribe. I don't care about none of that. You
wow,
gotta come ready to work
yeah,
and be honest about where you are when you
yeah,
come.
yeah,
Because you might be a person with $150 and the next person might be a person with $5,000. You don't know what that
mm,
opportunity is. Do not be afraid to ask for opportunities. Do not be afraid as a woman to tell
mm,
another woman, I ain't got it. Don't.
wow, yeah,
Do not, because I've
mm,
had to tell another woman I ain't have it and they gave it. Okay. I've
see,
had to tell another
yeah,
woman I need help and they helped. So we cannot be thinking that just because there is another woman sitting on the other side of the desk and she's done all of these amazing things, that she's
mm,
too high up to not remember what low feels like or
come
what
on now,
opportunity feels like. So
right,
we have to be transparent and vulnerable about
yeah,
our state. We have
wow,
to be, because
yeah,
holding it in and suppressing and hiding who you are, it makes you
mm-hmm,
depressed.
mm-hmm,
It makes you suicidal. It makes you
wow,
feel hopeless. It makes
yes,
you feel so many things when you're not allowed or not. Can you
yeah,
imagine needing help and just sitting and not saying it? That takes more pressure to
yeah,
hold in and
mm-hmm,
to let out.
right,
So be
right,
transparent and vulnerable
I love it,
about who you are. I give scholarships all the time.
wow,
Um, a guy seen me on the news and wanted his grandchildren to work with me so bad, and
mm,
I called them back. I had a waiting list, but I
uh,
reached out to them about maybe 9 months later,
mm-hmm,
gave them the opportunity, gave a scholarship opportunity for them,
wow,
and his granddaughter didn't take it. He was like, "That's okay." He said
see,
she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready, but I got another one for you. I'm like,
see,
cool. Well, send me her. Send me her
uh,
then, because I
yeah,
really he was so eager
wow,
to introduce them to me and to give them an opportunity that I was just as eager to break whatever rules I had in place
uh-huh,
for them to be able to work it. But again, it has to be something that they feel in themselves. Like the
right,
granddaddy felt it, but the granddaughter didn't feel it. You
isn't
know
that
what I'm
something?
saying? And that's
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing for us.
yeah,
Yes, what you told me earlier about what you
yeah,
seen when I walked into the room, I'm like, so many people tell me that, but it's just like, oh, okay, like, thank you for sharing that, but I did not feel it. But
wow,
now, as I get older, and
yes,
more and more people say that to me, then I'm like, oh, this got to be true. Ain't all these
oh,
people ain't telling me this, and it's not
right,
true. So believe the good
yeah,
things that people tell you. Believe the
yeah,
good things that people tell you about yourself.
yeah, I know. Because your aura, your very essence, all of that was just. I said, I want some of that. I want some of that. What she has, because it's genuine, and it's just, and you were just so transparent. You couldn't hide it if you wanted to, right? One more thing, I'm just enjoying this conversation. I know the commercial is coming out today. Can you please share that with the audience? I mean, I'm gonna be watching and looking and saying, "That's my girl."
Yes. So I literally have so many things in the pipeline, guys. Like we're talking reality TV. We're talking expansions and different marketplaces throughout Michigan. And we're
Hmm.
talking about me literally helping an unnumbered amount of women live their dreams.
Yeah.
For me, I think in my career, if I may share about sisterhood, right, but before we close out, is that
Hmm.
I had the opportunity to meet a modern day hidden figure
Hmm.
from NASA, and she did not discover
Uh-huh.
that the women that were on Hidden Figures, the movie, she didn't realize that any of that was going on, and she was there the whole time.
Wow.
Okay. And so I did an event in Houston
Hmm.
where I was honoring women with that girl, the Being That Girl organization. And she drove an hour and 15 minutes to tell me that she was proud of me and
Hmm.
that she appreciated what I was doing in the world. And I'm thinking, like, you did what? That is amazing. But I had no idea. I had no clue whatsoever who she was, right? And so
Right.
months later, maybe like 6 months later, I am at home reviewing the content from the events.
Right.
And she is doing an interview. And during the interview, she tells the lady who she was. So I call her on the phone and I say, "Oh, you just gonna come to my event and not tell me who you are?
Hmm.
Like, are you for real? Are you gonna do this, right?" And so from that moment, I
Yeah.
began to honor her. I surprised her here in Michigan and it was amazing, right? But then I asked her three things. I said, "What do you want? What are
Hmm.
three things that you want?"
Wow.
And everything that she said she wanted, she has now. And when I
Man.
tell you she is killing it, she is killing it. So it is situations like that that make me continue to do it.
I,
I could think about a mentee, who come to me. It's just like so many experiences of
hmm.
women who I've helped, who I get to sit back and look and be like, I was a part of that, just even a piece of it. If I'm a piece of it this much, then that is a
Yeah.
part of an impact that will help. You know what I'm saying? Because then now they're impacting someone else. So it
Yeah.
is truly a joy to do and see the things that I see. And
I
even
love
my oldest son right now.
I love it. I saw that on Facebook, man. He's so dope. I said, "What's going on? What's going on?"
Man, my baby is out here. Look, I remember my mother before she passed away, how she would be bragging and yelling on the phone about me and how I would surprise her with gifts. And
Yeah.
I spoiled my mom, but my mom spoiled me too. So it was just kind of natural to do.
Right.
But I never would understand her joy, how she would be screaming louder than me when something happened, like, would be going crazy. Now it's my turn, and my son, when he's telling me something about his business, I am
Right.
like
Wow.
flipping out over the couch, going crazy. I'm like, my son did this, right? But for me, I remember when he was a little boy, and I started the call center in my home,
Right.
and I
Wow.
had one agent, and
Uh-huh.
then I went started it in my brother's basement where he let
Uh-huh.
me have three shifts rotating out his house.
Oh
So
my
anyway, I
Lord.
ended up having like 900 contractors service for
Oh
me,
my
processing inbound calls for Fortune 500 companies.
God.
And I
Wow.
remember, I've always been teaching
Hmm.
my children their whole life about entrepreneurship. And
Yeah.
I asked my son, the oldest one now, he's been in business. He's been designing video games since he's been in the seventh grade. And he's
Wow.
been in business now for probably about, I want to say about 6 years. So he started entrepreneurship way earlier than me.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, and I asked him though, when he was probably like 8 or 9, I said, Rashard, maybe even, no, I want to say about 11 or 12. And
Mm.
I said, Rashard, what's in your inspiration box? And my
Uh,
baby looked at me and he said, you are.
Oh,
Girl, you talking about somebody was crying. You talking about somebody crying. I was crying so hard because people don't understand when you're a teenage mom, you don't know. You a kid. You don't know how life about to turn out. You like, but I'm like, I'm gonna give this all that I have. And he was that kid that gave
oh,
me, I call him strength because I'm like, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going.
wow.
And to
Yes.
see him talk about his business and for him to be doing even better than I
Wow.
was when I started. I'm like, you know what? This is a full circle moment for me. So he
Yes.
has now, he just acquired a gaming partnership,
Wow.
one of
Look
its
at that.
kind, the first of its kind, and one of its kind. And he now has over 2 million gamers in his gaming group where
Mm,
they're developing, they're putting up.
multi-billionaire,
Oh, he
multi-millionaire. I see.
coming, he coming, he coming. I say, ooh, retire your mama, son. Retire your mama.
I know you should be a proud
Yeah.
mother because you not only was a role model for your kids, but you are a role model for young women, older women. Okay, you have been such a blessing, and don't change. I mean, just continue to let your light shine, continue to shine bright like a diamond, because that's who you are. And we love you, and I appreciate you so much. We got to have lunch when I get back to Michigan.
Yes, we do. And
Okay.
I want to say this though. And this is the closing for real. I love you, Dr. Mary Seegers. I
Oh.
love Barbara Pugh, who was just on here. I saw Coletta. I see so many older women. And like I said, I look at you guys and I am inspired by you too. It is an
Wow.
inter-exchange that we give
Wow.
one another. And for
Yes.
me, nobody ever knows how old I
Uh,
am. It's so funny because they think they like you be with them older women all the time. I'm like, so that don't mean like they want me to tell like I'm not their age though, But it goes to show you though so much like it doesn't even matter. We're women.
That's
Like
right.
I love being in a room with y'all because I learned so much from y'all. Like I learned so much from y'all that it's crazy. So it's an inner exchange. I love you
Yeah.
guys. I'm
Love
supporting
you.
y'all to the wheels fall off. And y'all are inspiring women who gave up at a very young age and saying in their
Yeah.
50s, in their 60s, in their 70s that, hey,
Yeah.
I still exist. I
Amen.
still exist. I still have dreams. I'm still about to work this out. I'm about to live my life until I cannot anymore. And for me, that is encouraging to know that you still have that drive and that energy and can still live your life. Like life isn't over after 50. Life isn't over after
Right.
60. Life is here as long as we allow it to be.
That's right. I know. Iron sharpen iron, because you strengthened me and encouraged me. So we, like you said, it's a reciprocal thing, and that's what I love that about you. So that girl, Natasha Lee, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Lunch is coming soon. Okay, love you, my dear. Until next time, we'll see you next week.
Yes. Bye bye.